Now that we've learned about like terms, we get into adding polynomials, and in the next slide subtracting polynomials, and they'll give us a problem that's in parentheses like this one. Now the parentheses in this particular problem, where there's a plus sign, is pretty much meaningless. I can rewrite it without the parentheses because it's just saying you add this whole group with this whole group, and the real thing that you're being asked to do is combine like terms, and I put just CLT because it's quicker, but combine like terms is what you're really being asked to do here. And we kind of could distribute the positive sign, but distributing a positive sign doesn't do anything, so I can just rewrite it without the parentheses. And now it's plus and negative 8, so I could write that, or I could just write minus 8, a to the 5th, plus a to the 8a to the 3rd, plus 3. Okay. Now I just want to go through and identify what my like terms are. I look at the 3a to the 5th, and what else is an a to the 5th? And that's going to be my negative 8a to the 5th. So I go ahead and combine those, and 3a to the 5th minus 8 is going to be negative 5a to the 5th. So now I continue looking for like terms, and I see I have my negative 9a to the 3rd, so I'm looking for another a to the 3rd, and that's over here with the 8a to the 3rd. So I combine those. Negative 9 plus 8 is going to be negative 1a to the 3rd. And I didn't write the 1 because you don't have to, but you could if you wanted to. And then I have 4a to the 2nd, and I don't see any other a's to the 2nd in the second problem, so I rewrite just the plus 4a squared. I just bring it down. And the last thing that's left is I have my 3, and there's nothing that combines with the 3, so I just go ahead and bring the 3 down. So I combine all the things that have like terms, but if there aren't anything, if there are other things that don't have a like term, you just bring them down and put them in your simplified answer. And this is as far as we can go for this problem. Now it changes a little bit when you get into subtracting polynomials. Subtracting polynomials in the parentheses, the parentheses are very valuable because we're taking this whole group and we're subtracting this second whole group. Now what that means is I'm going to take this negative sign and actually distribute it into the parentheses to each thing that's inside the parentheses. Now the biggest mistake that I find is that people only distribute the negative to this first one. And they'll write plus 5m squared, and then they'll say plus 7m minus 8, and they don't change these last two for some reason, because our eyes just see that it goes with that first thing. But we have to remember it goes with the whole second group. So I need to take the negative sign, distribute to all three, and rewrite it to be positive 5m squared minus 7m plus 8. And then the first parentheses just gets brought down. Without the parentheses, I just bring all the information down. Negative 6m squared minus 8m plus 5. Now, I go ahead and just combine my like terms like I did on the last problem. So I start with my negative 6m squared, and I see I have 7m squared. So I go ahead and combine those two. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1m squared. And then I have negative 8m, and I have a negative 7m. So I go ahead and combine those. Negative 8 minus 7 is going to combine to be negative 15m. And then I look for further like terms, and I find 5 and 8. And I combine those. They're both positive now. So I go ahead and add them to give me 13. And this is your final answer. Now in this last problem, it says add. It might say add vertically. Now, all that means is just add the way that you did back when you first learned how to add in a column, back in like 2nd grade, I believe is when we did that. That's when I did it anyway. What it means is you just take your columns, and because you're assuming that when you stacked it this way, you've lined things up, and these are all like terms. If you take your eyes and work down these columns, these are all like terms. Okay, so we just go ahead and add all the numbers that are in each column. So I've got 8, and then I'm subtracting 2 to get 6, and then I'm subtracting 9 from that to get negative 3. And then I go to the next column, and I've got negative 11 plus 16. If I combine those two, that gives me 5, and then I take and have positive 5 more, so that's going to give me 10z. And then I look at my third column, and it gives me 12 plus 5, so that's got 17, and subtract 4, so now I'm at 13z squared. So I just put my plus sign because it was a positive 10, and that's my answer there. So it's like combining three problems that would be long, and you stack them vertically, and it makes it a little bit shorter. So that's adding vertically, just like we would add regular. If I was to add something like 42 plus 33 plus 21, I would add them vertically just like I did here.